Welcome, all you Plus 2 comedy modifiers, to what? The Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, and before we get to our fantastic episode with the creator of Drive Fighter, Phillip Steinberg, I gotta tell you about some upcoming shows. Yo, this very weekend, April 6th through the 8th, we're going to Johns Hopkins University's for John Con. Yes, we go every year. It's a fantastic time. It's pay what you will. So come on down to John Con at Johns Hopkins University's. It's super fun. We play board games, plus we're doing stand-up comedy, Game the Gamer, Beyond the Tentacle, and a brand new panel we're calling Nerd Fitness. We've never done it before. It's brand new at John Con. Come and see us. There's no cons in Baltimore anymore. I mean, there's a convention center, so I'm sure there is, but Otacon's gone. So come to John Con. It's a fantastic time. For more information, just Google John Con. It's easier that way. Trust me. We're also happy to be heading back to Lancaster, Pennsylvania for Zenkai Con. Yes, Zenkai Con at the Lancaster Convention Center. That's going to run from May 4th through the 6th. We're going to be there being very funny and doing some stand-up comedy. So please come see us at Zenkai Con. For more information, go to zenkaicon.com. We're also happy to be returning to Wizard World, Philadelphia on May 17th all the way through to the 20th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So come to the Philadelphia Convention Center, come see us do stand-up comedy, and maybe something else. We don't have all the dots on the I's and all the crosses on the T's done yet, so we might be doing more. So please come see us at Wizard World, but we're not going to be there Sunday. On Sunday, we will be at the Castle Point Anime Convention. Yes, the Castle Point Anime Convention is moving to a brand new location. So don't go to where it was last year. It's going to be May 19th and 20th. We will only be there the 20th. And it is going to be at the Meadowlands Expo Center. So come see us do some stand-up comedy and also some cosplay pro wrestling. So please come see us at Castle Point. It's going to be a fantastic time. For more information, go to castlepointanime.com. And now, without any further ado, take it away. Who's ready for a podcast?
Very nice applause.
Yes. Our crowd all looked away because I addressed them directly. Who's here to do other things? Currently being annoyed by a podcast? We're quieter today. Yeah. We don't have the speaker up because we're
quieter in the store too.
It's a quieter place. Well, we got all the doors open. There's a nice spring breeze going through.
The peepers are out.
The peepers are out. I don't know what that means. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, joined as always by the NWO to my X-Men, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
I don't get that.
You haven't been paying attention to the tournament on our own Facebook page?
Oh, no, I do get that.
Yes, that is our finals, which is happening tomorrow if you're watching this live, so be sure to vote on that. And I just wanted to plug that, so that's how I brought it up. How you doing, Will?
It's the most popular thing on our Facebook.
It is. It really is every year.
Nerds love two things fighting.
Yes, it's the best. How you doing, Will?
I'm too good.
Good.
Summer night.
Our guest this week is the creator of a brand new trading card game and has recently launched a Kickstarter for it. That game is called Drive Fighter, not Drive Attack, like I keep accidentally saying. Please give it up for Phillip Steinberg. You got some very quiet applause, but you got applause. You got more applause than we did, so you can at least be happy with that. Phillip, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So your Kickstarter has 2 days left? 3 days left?
5 days.
5 days left.
It
5
ends
days left.
on, I believe, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. All right, so you got some time. That's 6 days, I think. Yeah, so you still got some time for this.
People who say they will back to finally back.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's the best thing about Kickstarter is people being like, yeah, I'll totally do that, and then just hoping they don't run into you again. As someone who's done a Kickstarter, that's that feeling. I get it. So you're not quite there last time I checked, right?
Yeah, we're little bit less than half.
Little bit less than half? Well, I can tell you that when we did our Kickstarter, we were, I don't know, we only had a fifth of what we needed. We rallied in the last 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people like suspense. So they're like, I'll wait.
Our family doesn't. Suspense is what kills my mother.
See, this is what you do. This is what worked for us, is you start saying stuff like, well, we're not going to get funded, and if we don't get funded, you don't have to pay. So throw some money in, And then you won't have to pay because we're not going to get funded. And then everyone does it, and then they accidentally fund you. It's a good scam. It's a great scam. But tell us more. Thank you, producer. So tell me more about this game, though.
Well, it all started as basically a final assignment for senior year of college, and I'm in a game design class and everyone's making video games, but I noticed some people were doing analog games or card games, tabletop games, whatever you want to call them, and since I've been playing I've been playing card games nonstop since I got into college. Each year I started playing a new game, and then usually dropped one because
that sounds
money.
expensive. Yeah,
It's money, and then
because you're also in college at the time.
Yeah, but no job.
That's a lot of money to spend.
But I thought of this idea of why don't I make a card game? But every single other games tend to be like kind of a educational game or a let's kind of they're more boxed in. You buy it and then you're done with it. And I was saying the reason why card games are such explorable field is the fact that for professionally you can print a card for less than a penny, and then it'll sell online for $70.
That is true.
So and then because people keep buying that booster pack, hoping that fabled triple rare 17,000 card, you make more. The companies make more money.
That Black Lotus.
That Black Lotus.
Yeah.
But the problem with Black Lotus is no longer printed. There are cards in other card games that are still printed, but there's still money.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
But that's why it's actually very confusing for some people because this game, it's starting off with 3 different decks, and everyone thinks that they're all it's a self-contained thing, kind of like the DC.
The Versus games.
Yeah, DC Versus or those
DC
ones.
Deck Builder.
DC Deck Builder. That's what it was. And I was saying no, that they're basically being sold individually. So you would go to the store and if it was sold in stores, you would go in a case. There would be, say, 6 decks of each of the. I call them colors for simplicity's sake, because that's how they're distinguished. But they're called factions.
Okay.
Which is basically just determining what type of cards they're all based on. So right now we have one. It's dragons, wizards, and knights.
Okay.
But everyone's saying why you call it drive when it's very fantasy like. Well, it's because the idea is that dragon, knight, wizard is a classic triangle of archetypes.
A rock paper scissors type situation.
I was investing of maybe making one that's all about kind of ninjas, or one that's robots, and just each different type of gimmick. And the idea of drive actually comes from another card game, but the idea is that the drive to tap into something, because the idea is that it's supposed to, in the lore of the world, it's supposed to be this internal ability that people learned.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's your driving force.
Yeah.
Your overdrive move from Final Fantasy VIII. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, it would be a good name for a bad translation of a Fast and Furious movie.
No, it's like the Transmorphers.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Dry Fight. That's what I call Vin Diesel.
Mr. Dry Fight.
I just call it Groot.
Yeah, Groot's another good name for him. So this started as a school project, and then you ventured out to a trading card.
Well, the thing was, I started as a trading card game. Everyone in this class is making it as they're selling it. Most people are not selling it; they're trying to make it free. So they just have to get people to download it.
Idiots.
Yeah. For me, I have to sell it because, pen and paper is more expensive than pixels. So thus, that's the whole problem with Kickstarter. You have to make it back. I'm one person, not. Yeah. I'm not Jasco or the guys who made UFS. I think that is Jasco.
It's just the same company. So you're telling me that Fat Rab Games is just you?
It's technically just me, but the family is essentially part of that.
Gotcha.
As well as, I don't know if he considers himself part of it, but the game's artists are actually only 2 people right now.
Okay.
One is a outside friend, and the other one is actually my brother.
Gotcha.
Who's not your friend?
Yeah,
He's
not
my
your
best friend.
Because he did all this work for free. He's a fantastic
No,
friend.
he didn't do it for free.
Good
you know,
brothering.
No, the parents pay him food.
Okay, all right, good point. Good point.
Like a feudal lord.
I love the fact that we're getting in the ground floor of this. It's like it started in a basement, and then all the kids will be.
It's subground floor.
Yeah. It's what happens in class. Because I'm also the one person because it's most of these tend to be group projects.
Yeah.
I'm the one there's like two people who are doing the game solo, but I'm the one person who's doing a card game. So every time I get like an announcement, all right, everyone in the class next week has to upload a copy of their game and post a screenshot with a feature complete build, like what's gonna be in the trailer. And I'm like, what about me? Mine's different. I can't have. Mine takes time.
Just do some shuffling, Phil.
Yeah.
or also because I do like a lot of the stuff at home. Like the first week it's assigned and it's due like 6 weeks from now. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I already did it.
See, that's awesome. Like that, it's clear that you have the passion for this game. And you know, I know we were talking a bit about it off mic that that this is more of a faster paced game.
It's kind of a more of a tempo based. I actually designed it to be a bit slower than some games. Particularly, I don't want to bash it, even though I really want to.
Do it. Bash some
Yu-Gi-Oh.
stuff. Take that, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it.
The meta game of it nowadays is so fast. People win on the very first turn.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my main problems is that official tournaments, you have an hour to play, and you get all 3 games done in less than 10 minutes.
Just hang out.
Yeah, so we just hang out, and usually everyone's bitter about everything. Or but like, and then I kind of made it faster than say Magic, because Magic's still a fast game, but one of the most grueling things in Magic is not drawing mana.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, my opponent's doing everything I have turn. It's like, all right, start my turn, draw, pass, draw, pass. And you just sit there, and your opponent's like doing their big combo. Like,
Well, see, that's your fault for playing the wrong color, though.
Ooh.
Because I just play red, and I get my 2 mountains, and I'm good to go.
what if you only don't ever get those 2 mountains?
Then I've made a mistake.
I've also taken a lot of inspiration from some other card games for the aspects and kind of flipped them. The actual resource to, instead of using how Magic would do it, there's a card game called Weisschwartz, which is an anime card game. Like each set is a different type of anime. You know, Sword Art Online, Attack on Titan.
Cool idea.
And the idea is that when you attack, you get something called stock, which is your resource. But the problem is, if you can't play any of your cards to attack with, or it's not advantageous to do it, then you sit there not being able to play with your stuff while your opponent can do everything. So this time, my card game actually allows, you're attacking me, I get something. That way, there's no, I'm sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah, you always get something.
But then I was also getting a lot of criticism. The game was a bit too slow. Some things were a bit too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually made it complicated on purpose because I wanted players to kind of have the idea of you're the tactician of an army. You have to think of your plan. You can't, because some card games you just go on to autopilot. Just say, all right, this plays this, and this does. I win.
Yeah, we did this show out of another store, and they would play Buddy Fight.
Oh yeah, I used to play Buddy Fight.
And like the way they tried to pitch it to me was like, you don't even have to think. You just flip some stuff over. I was like, that doesn't sound fun.
Buddy Fight is in my opinion better Yu-Gi-Oh, but the problem is it's so short.
Yeah.
Like it's fast paced and enjoyable. The problem is that it's so short, and how the company Bushiroad actually promotes their stuff is, all right, next set comes out, this world gets support. But I like this one. Too bad. You have to wait. And then one comes out, and it's so overpowered.
Yeah.
And
Games Workshops. And
each thing starts killing themselves. They have a card. They have an ability right now called I think it's called Overthrow. It lets every single one of your cards attack.
It's called Too Powerful.
No, there's 3 ones. They came out. It's like Overturn, Overkill, and Overthrow.
Yes.
And one of them just like allows one of them some card to attack 6 times, and it can't be stopped.
It's called expensive card.
It's called Ban This, Please.
But they don't. Well, the thing is that Bushiroad actually, as opposed to Konami, because Konami, love to talk about how bad they've been running right now. They know how to. They're mismanaging, and when they balance stuff, which is actually kind of what I was making sure to do.
Konami?
Konami.
Like the video game company?
Yeah, they're the ones who make Yu-Gi-Oh. Or they're the ones that distribute it.
Interesting.
Oh, I thought it was just for kids.
No.
I thought you were rag on Metal Gear Solid.
No.
Like, yeah, the series
no.
is
Metal Gear
it's
Solid
What
is
did Contra
quality.
do to you?
No, we're talking about like how Konami just as a company nowadays is like mismanaging their employees. They literally fired Kojima for no reason.
That is true. That is 100% true. Though I will say, I don't think there's a single good video game company left these days. They all seem to be evil and mean.
Yeah, very money grubbing. Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom, EA,
EA is the king of taking
What about
from people.
Bethesda?
Bethesda just doesn't make games that don't work.
Yeah.
Bethesda's issue seems to be like, hey, can you make another Fallout or Skyrim game? And they're like, no, we don't want to
We'll
do
just
that.
make another expansion.
Yeah.
We'll try and we'll maybe fix what we.
Yeah.
What
No,
was-
they'll never look back.
Never look
Only
back.
forward.
Valve is so good at making games, they just stopped.
No,
We're
they
just
have
gonna-
a fear of the number 3.
Yeah, we're just going to distribute games. It turns out that's where the money is.
Yeah.
We spent like hours making this Portal thing, and it takes me to push a button, and we make millions of dollars selling your game.
There's that picture of
gonna do
what was his
that.
name, Gaben, or Gabe?
Yeah, Gabe Newell.
Yeah.
Where he's just like
That's just his face. He's got
he's
one
such
of
a
those
memeable
faces.
face.
Yeah, exactly. He's a living meme. That's what happens. But this game sounds absolutely fantastic. And just to be clear, so right now there are 3 decks. You can't like shuffle them together, can you?
Right now I made it that they can't. Again, like I was explaining with like other card games. One of my main issues is that that some card games do is they make something called like an archetype.
Right.
Yu-Gi-Oh has like Elemental Hero, Morphtronic.
It's just a cool name.
It's a
I like
great
it.
word. It's a
Um,
good word.
Like there's one there's actually
band
an
name.
archetype based on the Blue Eyes White Dragons called something of Blue Eyes.
Gotcha.
The problem with it is that that archetypes sometimes can just mix. There have been like for some reason Yu-Gi-Oh is topping, and every deck is Zodiac Metalfoe Draco King, Zodiac Blackwing Metalfoes, and
These are all good band names.
Yeah, exactly.
and they're just like. But the thing is that each of these archetypes have their own individual personality, and that but when you can mix them together with no consequence, it's. I'm playing an Elemental Hero deck. But, okay, where's the heroes? Oh, there's just 2 of them because they're good. That's not a hero deck.
No.
Like,
So it's a little. So I was trying to think of a card game where they're not factions, but like the colors work because Magic obviously you
Yeah.
can
you can.
interchange. But
the main-
L5R, I think you're stuck to. It's been a long time since I've played, but they're stuck to factions.
Yeah,
There's different. You can build within the faction, but not mix.
The main
them.
thing I did with the factions was inspired by it, and since you mentioned with Buddy Fight is the same card game that I played, made by Bushiroad, the company that makes Buddy Fight, Card Fight Vanguard, and they use this thing called clans. There is this one format called Extreme Fight where you use any clan in the world, but the clans are like. My favorite is Kagero. It's these fire dragons, or there's Nova Grappler, which is these wrestling robots. Ever watched G Gundam? It's that.
I'm pro wrestling
Or
robots.
there's dinosaurs, mermaid idols, zombie pirates. So I use that like faction idea to basically you are the commanding this one group and his army.
Mhm.
So if you mixed it wouldn't work.
Can you? I know you're still making it, but can you build within the faction, or is it sort of a pre-made deck?
Well, right now they're only pre-made decks.
Yeah,
It's eventually, yeah, you would be if you say buy a booster pack and it comes with 3 of the dragon cards and 2 of the wizard cards. I'm saying if it's like a booster pack of 5 cards, you can put those dragon cards in your dragon deck. You can still mix and match the cards. You just can't like right now combine 2 different factions together.
Gotcha.
Right now the decks are just set because the time constraints.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And also, apparently, it's not that easy to make booster packs.
No.
Yeah.
Because, like, for some reason, every company is charging you, like, $3 to wrap 5 cards in cellophane.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
and then they don't even because it won't even actually randomize it. Like that's how booster packs work. There's
Right.
like a percentage thing, but
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's actually why the Kickstarter is for. The Kickstarter.
That was my next question. What's the Kickstarter for?
It's so you can buy a bunch of packages that Yu-Gi-Oh players will leave in a pile on the floor. It's my experience.
The main reason why we actually had to run the Kickstarter is just to make our money back. It's gonna if we want to sell it. Like a lot of companies, like printing groups, require you to have a certain number. So we're gonna say all right, there could be 15 or 30, I forget which one, of each deck. So to make one of them is $150. So basically this, and also we have to include the boxes to put them in,
Right.
And printing the manual to put into it, which is actually still being worked on. We had to shrink it down. It's going to cost around $400 to $500, and this is just us trying to make our money back. They were telling, we kept being told, oh, your Kickstarter's so if you have a job, you can fund it without spending money from yourself. But you have to, because I'm going to be buying it anyway.
You're your biggest investor. Are you going to any gaming conventions to kind of show the game off?
I don't have any planned right now, mostly because, again, there's monetary issues and also travel issues. The closest I actually haven't even looked up. The last convention I guess I went to was something called DexCon.
I was just about to recommend that to you.
That was before I actually made this game, and then I went to something called Metatopia, which
That's
is
the other thing I was going to recommend
a game
to you.
festival, where I got a lot of feedback and criticism because the game was still being worked on.
Right.
Again, it was in the very rough stages, and I constantly had to keep changing it. I was told to keep changing it, and it was very hard to get professionally tested because I had to work with other people. Or know what's going on with other people, and people have their different tastes. They want this in the game, and sometimes the vision works, sometimes it doesn't. One of the main problems was the game was a bit too convoluted.
Gotcha.
And also the costs, I didn't manage them right. So a card that should be super cheap costs 5 mana, and that's not really fun because then it's I can't use this card. Well, because and the fact that people were playing it a bit weirdly. I also went to what it was called, Gamecraft. It was at the Microsoft building in New York.
Okay.
Where most people were showing up video games, and I'm here by myself. Everyone, some people had tabletop games, and they're sitting there, but I'm that one nerdy kid himself. No one's coming yet. I had a Gundam, so I built that. And then people started coming.
Yeah.
So that's the secret. If you were one person, no one's coming over, start building Gundams.
It's true. That's true. I will walk over and talk to you about your Gundam.
Set up a board game. I have never set up a board game at a con without 8 other nerds being like, "Oh, you're playing Pandemic there?" And they just sit down and invite themselves and just slowly trick them into being and now we're playing Drive Fight.
But yeah, I'm glad that you've been to DexCon because I was going to highly recommend you check that out. So, hopefully we'll see you there this year with your big funded Kickstarter and all your cards. So be sure to check out his Kickstarter. There's only a few days left. Fund this. It's a fantastic project. And
please fund it. I've been spamming my Facebook and Twitter about it, and everyone likes the post, but they don't actually comment on it. We're saying share it around, like it, comment. If you hear people on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, slam that like button. But
slam that donation button. Guys. Slam it.
We have we technically have 4 pledge goals, rewards. If you donate $10, we'll send you some copies of the art actually signed by the artist who's in the building, but he doesn't want to show up.
But is playing card
Magic.
games.
But he's playing the magics.
It's like research.
Yeah, he's doing research.
Yeah.
He's doing
RD.
important.
It's RD. We also have 3 different ones where it's basically you spend $15 and you get a copy of the deck of your choice. $30 you get 2. And then for $45 you get all 3. So
that makes sense. That's how math works. Yeah,
it's how math works.
But, yeah, that makes sense.
But the idea is hey, you get it before it would be sold in stores. So that's kind of neat. Originally I was gonna think of including this big fancy, the cards will be foiled, but apparently printing foil cards as a single company is expensive. Even though big companies can print it for half 50 cents.
That would be 25 cents.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Half
Very
of
good.
50 cents is 25.
I got it. I figured out your puzzle.
Math.
Get some good math on the
2
show.
plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Good. Have some
That's
quick
good.
maths. Quick maths here. We are +2 comedy for a reason. And we like to geek out on this show, and we do it with a segment called What You Watching, What You Reading, What You Playing. It's where we talk about what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're playing. Phil, you're new to the group. What have you been watching? Any good movies out there?
Well, we just actually watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh, you haven't seen it before?
I actually
Oh.
don't even remember seeing I've seen the first one, but I don't actually remember seeing it.
It's a shame. It's a very
Yeah.
good
No, it
movie.
is.
It didn't change
It is.
your life like it did to me?
The best line I know from this is, "What are you doing? It's a dance-off. I'm distracting you." Because there's this like little video I saw. It's like, by the way, is this a PC channel to quote something?
We do try to keep it
Okay.
clean.
Basically the joke is, how would you win? We're holding hands. And but then we saw Volume 2, which was actually really good. Even though I felt like the moral of the story is, hey, let's kill our parents.
Yes. Remember, always kill your parents.
No, that's bad.
Well, he was a god that was trying.
Yeah, kill your
Yeah,
bad
but then they
parent.
said they
Yes.
wanted to kill Thanos, who is Nebula's
true.
dad.
He's a bad parent too.
Yeah.
Only bad parents.
Yeah.
Yondu is a good. Although if you're a good parent, then you die. So there's
Yeah,
no winning.
There's no winning. Don't
No,
have kids.
you're an anime you're an anime protagonist. Your mother has to die.
Exactly. Or a Disney film.
Or Disney film.
Yeah. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was fantastic.
Yeah.
You got to catch up because Infinity War is like next month.
One of the movies I'm excited to see, actually, even though it just came out, and I've heard it's not as good as it should be, is Pacific Rim Uprising.
I've heard mixed things about
Yeah,
it.
from what I've heard, it's not a bad movie. It's just an unfair sequel. It's not, because from what I've heard, it's more of a toy commercial, which at the
Yeah,
same
it's like
time,
an 80s movie.
that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's a movie about giant robots.
Yeah, but I don't know. Pacific Rim is one of my favorite movies, and I didn't like a single trailer that I've seen for 2.
It's
kind
too.
of
Is it? I think it might be.
bland.
It's too bright. It's too bright.
It is
color
very,
too, yeah.
very bright.
Well,
Is Ron Perlman even in it?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Was he the guy who had the nosebleed constantly?
no. He was
Hannibal Chow.
Hannibal Chow.
Oh.
the
Yes.
parts dealer.
The only but like when I first saw Pacific Rim, I was just like, this is just straight up Evangelion.
Yeah.
It's because the whole thing is
Better.
it
It's a
is
little bit better.
But it's what's with
It made
what's-
more sense.
What's with giant like this idea is let's pilot a tank. It's a glorified tank, but let's make it complicated.
Exactly, yeah.
Evangelion, we have to have like this. I don't know if this is how long this is a spoiler, but the robots like are like the souls of the pilot's dead mothers. With Pacific Rim, let's have 2 guys link brains together.
Yes.
But
But still be able to keep secrets from each other.
yeah,
Like,
no,
hey, we have a surprise sword.
how did we not know that was there?
He was being racist, and he's like, well, she's Japanese. She's just always thinking about swords. Oh, no, it's real. How about that?
I mean, I just thought of one of my
My
favorite
bad.
animes, Gurren Lagann, and it's like, if it was a drill, this would go full circle. Actually, ironically, that because I keep mentioning that, I've actually been watching a lot of, been trying to catch up with some series, Gundam. I
Yeah.
need to watch the Iron Blade Orphans because it's really good, as well as a lot of tokusatsu series.
That I'm not familiar with.
The last Gundam thing I saw was Pegasus or
Unicorn, you mean? Unicorn.
Some mythical horse.
I
that was
would
like 20 years ago.
I would totally
came
watch
out, like,
Gundam Mythical
It was
Horse.
only like 4 years ago.
There's no way that's true.
Yeah, it came out in
Feels like so
2012.
long. That's 6 years ago.
I actually don't even know.
So
Remember?
we'll split the difference.
Time is
because-
confusing.
It was Unicorn, then I think it was Build Fighters Try, and then Iron Blade Orphans. And now we have Build Divers coming out. Sponsor, Bandai.
Aqua
Sunrise-
robots?
What?
Aqua robots?
No, it's virtual reality. You dive into the virtual world, and then you fight with your
It almost
your toy
makes
robots.
sense. And I remembered, anime. Let's make it
So have they
confusing.
just moved past the war and now it's just people living their lives?
Well, no, in Build Fighters, it's kind of more of like if you ever watched it's like a sports anime. Basically, the Gundam series is a show, and
so
Gunpla.
it's like an alternate.
It's an alternate universe
I
where
see.
like how there were those little model kits.
Mhm.
Kids will or people will build the model kits, paint them, make them all specialized, and then they there's this weird magical thing I think it's Plavsky particle, which is a pun on the Minovsky from Gundam as well as plastic, so you can
Okay.
actually control them. So they project like beam things and fight, and they're kind of like Beyblades in a
Do
sense.
they get wrecked?
Some do. They get wrecked, and then the people who build them have to refix them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody
Let it
punching my model.
Then don't do it. Just be a builder.
I won't then.
But yeah. And then Tokusatsu is, if you've ever watched Power Rangers, that's a Tokusatsu series.
Okay, gotcha.
Or rubber, it's basically anything with rubber-suited monsters is usually Tokusatsu.
Ah, yes. Kaiju Big Battle.
And one show that I'm finally might actually have a chance to watch tonight or tomorrow is Devilman Crybaby. Which,
I've heard good things about
yeah,
that.
I've heard
as
a
well.
lot of good news about it, and also its theme song is really
Really good.
catchy.
Well, a good anime should have a real catchy theme
That's
song.
important.
How about you, William? You watch anything good?
I started watching season 4 of Black Mirror.
I've watched everything but the last episode.
and
I've watched like 4
about
episodes.
as depressed as I thought it would
Yeah,
make me.
it's real rough this year.
I liked the McAllister, the first one.
The first one's real
Star
good.
Trek one I really liked,
Yeah.
and it had a happy ending. Kind of. They're trapped in an internet world of
Yeah.
Xbox players, but
Yeah, with Jesse from
yeah.
Breaking Bad.
But Crocodile was very upsetting.
Crocodile, I almost stopped watching the show. Hang the DJ, I loved.
And Archangel was very upsetting.
Yes.
Are these all like episodes of Black Mirror?
It's all
Yes.
episodes of Black
Like
Mirror.
the ones I remember, like I actually saw, was one where there was like this weird disease. Like I think it's like what was like the seasons 1 or 2. There's the one where the guy's like in a video video
the
game.
Fear one.
No, like where I think that's it. That was one of them where it's like this dystopian thing where like they're killing people who they think are monsters. But
Oh
aren't.
no, yeah, that's a
that
different
one.
one. Yeah.
And
That
then
was
there's
the
another
worst
one where this
episode.
guy's like in like a virtual world, and then he dies. Like I don't know.
it
if
has
it's-
like 8 endings.
no, it's where like his mom called and
Yeah.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it keeps ending, and then it's like, oh, that was a dream. Oh no, that was a dream.
Nope, and
Ah!
then nope. Spoilers, he's dead.
They're
Yeah.
all upsetting though.
Yeah,
I had no
everyone-
idea what's going on.
They
I'm
couldn't
just like,
sneak a happy
this
one
is-
in the middle.
this is British Twilight Zone. Let's just get that out of the
No,
way.
it was literally the scary door from Futurama. And actually, you're Hitler. What? but yeah, I've been enjoying. It's a tough word. I've been watching it and having emotions.
the feels.
Yeah, the feels. I felt like this was a real important season for Black Mirror because I think if it wasn't a great season, I think everyone would have just been like, "We get it, technology, it's bad." But especially you tie it with all the stuff that's happening with Facebook. Like it's pretty good right now.
Well, it's tough to make a show that's darker than reality currently. So.
Yes. Well, guess what I watched?
Oh, okay. Go on.
Did you see the things for The Push?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Well, but I
It
definitely
is
don't
it
do
is this
suicide in that.
British hypnotist that used to have a show on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I was like, I kind of remember this
I'm
guy.
out.
He did a hidden camera show, basically, and it's like we're gonna see how far we can persuade a person, and at the end of the show, we're gonna see if we can get them to commit murder. So it's the story of this man who like. And it was clearly supposed to be like a series on television because there's like moments where like they're supposed to go to commercial break and they don't because it's Netflix.
They do. They fade to black. If this was an anime, they just have eye catch.
Yeah, and then they're back. But basically, it's this auction, and this guy has a heart attack who's like the benefactor. And the guy's like, listen, we can't let people know he's dead until after the auction's over. So let's hide the body. So he convinces them to like hide the body, and the whole time the hypnotist is like backstage, like, "See, he's already willing to betray his own morals and hide a dead body."
So he's just British Tracy Morgan on scare
Yeah,
tactics.
yeah, exactly. And then like, what's fun is the guy who dies is named Bernie, and there's a part where they put him in a wheelchair and pretend he's alive, like Weekends at Bernie's. I was like, you got to catch on these clues, dude. So they're like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? We gotta, how did he die? I was like, well, let's say that he fell down some steps. So they take him and they just dump him at the bottom of the stairs, and then it's like, wait a minute, if he fell down some steps, he would have bruises, right?
Punch him.
I need you to kick him. So eventually, like, all the walls are falling in, and they don't know what to do, and they're like, all right, we have to tell our staff so they can help us. So they tell the staff, and the staff's like, well, you guys are gonna go to jail forever. It's like, no. All you need to do is help us get the body out to his car. We're going to say he had a heart attack in the car. And they go in, and it turns out he had a medical condition where he appears dead. So they go to find the body, and he's gone. And he goes and he's freaking out. He's like, I have a recording on me. I know exactly what all of you did. They did a better job than what I'm doing.
Okay.
Like, you're all going to go to jail forever. I'm going to have a cigarette. And he sits on the edge of a building smoking.
And then he falls.
And sit on this
the
knife
5 of them
pile.
get together and they're like, we're all going to go to jail. We're all going to go to jail. You know, everything was fine when he was dead. All we have to do is push him. And like,
So morbid.
everyone that's in the show is in on it except for one guy. And they're like, Greg, we need you to push him. And like, you see him step up and get close. He's like, I can't do it. And he walks away, and they reveal that the whole thing was just this like social experiment. And then the host comes in and says, so yeah, Gary was a very special man. He didn't do the push. Because we've run this 3 other times, and all 3 of those people pushed him. And then there's like a wacky montage of people murdering a guy.
He dies every time.
I was like, why didn't they show us these ones? This is much more interesting. So I just ruined the ending. I don't know if it was worth the
Is that
journey.
a series, or is it that was just like one of those weird?
I think it was meant to be. They shot a
direct
pilot.
to Netflix movies.
Yeah, they shot a pilot, and they're like, we're going to call this a movie.
We
it was
did
called
it.
The Push. It's real dumb, but it'll
Let's face
kill
it,
an hour.
It's a random Netflix thing with no advertisement. What did you expect?
Exactly. So I want to throw it back down to you, Phil, and ask you what you're reading. You reading anything good?
Well, I was gonna make that joke because I don't read.
That's fine.
Again,
it's a very common joke here.
I'd be the weeb of the group, but the last series I've actually, I guess I could say read, was this random manga I found online. It's called basically there's a million different translations, but it just translates to Demon Mother and Her Adorable Child. It's just a manga about this demon lord girl, and just out of nowhere she has this little kid. She's now a mother, and it's really cute for some reason.
It's just a nice little demon slice of life.
Yeah, no, exactly. But then there's like random moments where it gets like super deep. Like there's one where there's this human girl who's helping. Like, you know, she's the one she'll get food and help out. But then she gets like a demon sickness from hanging out with them. And then the main character's sister kind of cures her, but it could have killed her, and it gets like super emotional. And then they learn, like, you know, that there's some demons, you know, don't hate humans, but it's very much like anime I watched last year, which I'm hoping gets a sequel. It's called Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I'm familiar with this.
I thoroughly enjoy that show, and it's not for the obvious 2 reasons.
This is a family show.
I
think that was a funny joke you made.
Well,
Don't explain it.
Well, there's actually a character I like who makes this joke in the dub where he says, "I hate this and everything it stands for. Kill me. I'm already dead inside." In the Japanese, he just, because he's this big evil cursed dragon, he says, "I hate this. I hate this world. It makes me want to end it all." Like, meaning he wants to, like, burn everything to the ground. But then they make it, like, super depressing for himself in the dub. And I'm just like, I love this. For it's just the fact that, because that's how a lot of people feel sometimes at this day and age. Just very, what I do really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
That's why we need escape with games like Drive Fighter.
Drive Fight.
Supported on Kickstarter right now.
Sponsor.
Hashtag spawn.
But yeah, I usually don't read a lot of things unless you count story-based video games, because
we don't. We can't. That's for the playing part of it. But we do accept podcasts in the reading segment. But manga works. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Or manga. Will you? I'm going to tell you right now. We only have time for you to either do playing or reading. So
we'll skip reading.
All right, skip.
I did read a book though. I'll talk about it next week.
Read a book. Read a book.
I read Deadpool Kilistrated.
That sounds just like a cool name.
It's another thing I'm going to ruin. So get ready. It's the story of Deadpool just going through not even modern classics, classic literature, and killing them. So he kills Moby Dick.
Sounds like Doctor Who. Let's kill Hitler.
That's what it is. Basically, there's more plot in it than it needed.
Yeah.
He found out that he's a fictional character.
Okay. I thought he already found out when he gained his powers.
I think he knows on and off.
So in the prequel to this, which is Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, he feels like every comic book character is a slave to the author. So the only way to be free is to
death.
kill them. And then he realizes there's so many different versions and so many different
Yeah,
writers that it doesn't work.
there's young man Tony Stark. There's
Exactly.
old man Tony Stark.
So the only
Black
way
Spider-Man.
to truly be free is to go back and kill the original ideas. So like he travels into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, kills Dr. Jekyll, and the Hulk dies.
That's actually really cool.
So I was like, okay, I'm on board with this. And someone from Deadpool's universe like knows that they're doomed, so sends out like this last beacon of hope, and it lands on the doorstep of Sherlock Holmes, who then teams up with Beowulf and like a bunch of other literary characters. Like we have to like.
Can we get this a movie? Can
Yeah.
this be Can this be like the spin-off to Guardians of the Galaxy?
It is called League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and it is available now.
So it's a cool idea, but there's a lot of it where it's just senseless violence, where it's just like
It's Deadpool.
it's someone painting a fence and then being like, hey, this sure is fun. He's like, no, it's not, dead. And then he's like, all right, next page. But it ends with something that really stuck with me, and I need to just spoil this. So you fast forward a few seconds or sign off Twitch for a moment. It ends with a final fight between Deadpool and Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes is like, you know this is pointless. There's no way you could kill every idea. And Deadpool says, you're right. You can't kill an idea, but you can create a new one.
That's actually really cool.
In what I've done, I've created a new idea. And it cuts to a kid reading this comic book.
That's
Noah Hula.
Oh my God! It's an Inception.
Like kind of looking horrified, and goes, and now that this idea is out there, it will grow. And it cuts to a kid in a comic book store going, yeah, it's just senseless violence and it's Deadpool killing stuff. All comics should be like this. If that idea grows, it can replace other ideas. Book ends. I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to like this.
I mean,
But it's also kind of saying I should go read a book, and I'm not going to do that.
it sounds exactly like how with like again because you keep plugging my game. That's actually what a lot of card games are. It's no real card games original after Magic the Gathering. Everything's just let's just take a game, change it just enough that it's not the exact same game, and we're good.
Yeah, just change it enough that we could repackage it. Yeah. So congratulations on figuring that out at such an early age. I look forward to spending too much money on your cards. And I'm going to throw it back down to you and ask you what you're playing. Just your own game, or?
Well, in terms of, I'm obviously, when I am able to, I'm playing, like, Vanguard. I recently was playing Magic the Gathering over there. I was playing Commander.
Come to Gamers Vault.
Yeah.
There's lots of good games.
It's a good place. People are cool here. For video games, the most ones I've been actually getting recently into a lot is the Fire Emblem series. And it's
Good
mostly
games.
because I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes on the mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so addicting because it's
Gotta get them costumes.
yeah, those also got which I just got. I got Bunny Kagero. Well, her name is just
It's a good
Kagero,
goal.
but she's in a bunny outfit because it's a special spring event. But it's the
Happy
fan
Easter.
service character. But it's also because I liked the character in the game in Fire Emblem Fates because also she has the same name as the clan I play in Vanguard. She's a sexy ninja, and she's also a cool, interesting character. But so I started playing like the other games. I played like Awakening. I emulated. I know emulation is bad. The ones on the GBA on my phone. And then I started playing again Power Rangers Legacy Wars on the phone, and it's not as good. It's so tedious.
Yeah, I don't know why people are playing that.
Well, it's Power Rangers,
Yeah, but like
and apparently
the phone can download millions of games. Like, why get stuck in that?
'Cause
I'm
it's
still
efficient.
playing Puzzle Fighter. That's my
Still
choice.
fun.
Yeah, exactly, and I enjoy
And
it
then
every time I play.
I need a PS4 because the game I desperately want to get is Persona 5 because I'm super into the Persona series.
I highly recommend the
Yeah.
PlayStation 4. That's what I play on, and it's awesome. Makes me very, very happy. That being said, I'm going to skip my playing because
You want to talk
We're out
about
of time.
time to talk about Doki Doki Literature Club?
God,
I've been waiting to have this conversation with you.
my friend is I keep telling him I've told him to check this thing out, but he I have not played it, but I know everything that happens in it.
Okay.
Have you guys have played through it, right?
I finished
Or no-
it, and by that I mean it is gone from my computer.
Okay.
And you know the whole spoilers, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
Yes.
All right.
the whole thing.
Basically, and again, like he said, skip, turn off, whatever. If you want to avoid spoilers. Basically, when Monica becomes I'm the one true girlfriend.
Yeah.
My friend refused to delete her because he's very very lonely. I'm very lonely, but
Just
he then-
stare into her eyes for a long time.
Yeah,
Just leave
and he has this whole thing where it's you log back on and says, "Oh, I've missed you." So he downloaded. There's this mod where you can like apparently play games with her. She asks him like interpersonal questions, like it's like things that you should say, like the one shouldn't be said here. But then like he told me that he went on his browser, did something, checked back, and said, "Did you look something up?"
Yeah, I know.
Wow, that's
Even
fun.
in the regular game, I think she'll respond to stuff if you do things while the game is open.
Yes.
No, the game was closed. That was the weird part.
Ooh.
Also in the game, again, if you refuse to delete the game, basically get the perfect true ending. She'll just randomly start flooding your if you go into your file folders and look into pictures, just randomly there's pictures of her, and they don't
left
go
it
away.
open for a long time.
So you completely finished it.
Yes.
So you have to reinstall if you wanted to play.
Yep. It
All right.
is
I
ruined
mean, it's
itself.
free.
Yeah. There's one. The problem with this game is so many times it's like, oh, you've played it. Did you beat it? Did you really beat it?
Oh yeah, where you have to uninstall it to win the game.
Well, it uninstalls itself.
Yeah, Monica deletes everyone, all the characters, because there's nothing happy in that world.
I thought the whole thing was that she deletes everything, and then it's just you and her in this like empty
Yes.
void.
And then if you go into the game
This-
file
and
you
then
delete
delete her.
you can start playing the game again.
But then
Without her.
then it changes, isn't it? It's like, is it Sayori or Yuri? That one of them.
Sayori.
Yeah, it becomes the new Monica, and she's
Yes.
like, and then you have to kill her, and it's like,
Well, it just kind of like Monica comes
And-
back and
and then we have Matt Pat saying that this is all a clever trailer for some horror game coming out. I actually, when,
yeah.
when Doki Doki Literature Club came out, I actually did not really care for it. I didn't get it, mostly
Yeah.
because when there were some people in like my commuters lounge of college just going ape about this game, like all the plot twists, and I'm like, what's going on? And everyone's like, don't worry about it, and I'm like, I just want to know why everyone's screaming.
I screamed.
And
I
then I
screamed
found out
by
it's
myself.
I'm like, oh, so it did the same thing Undertale did, where it's self-aware.
yeah, it's similar to Undertale.
It's
It's
like
it's the
neat.
dating sim of
It's-
Undertale.
Yeah. And
Look,
much
Undertale
shorter.
was a masterpiece, and the fact that a game is Undertale-esque means it's pretty damn
until
good.
Tumblr gets a hold of it, then it just dies.
That makes
Looking
it
at
better.
you,
How
Rick and
dare
Morty.
you? Do not judge my art, Warren.
Oh no, I was just talking about
you
like
don't
how
get
people
that
go nuts for, like
reference.
Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty just completely died because people on Tumblr, or that one guy at McDonald's who started
Yeah, I
freaking
think
out.
that guy is more to blame.
I've never.
think
Also,
that's Reddit's
by the way,
fault.
haven't been able to try the Szechuan sauce yet. Everyone just says it's okay. It's okay.
We went to McDonald's recently, and they had it there, and I was like, you know what? Don't really care that enough. I'd rather have buffalo.
I'm a honey mustard man.
So you've completed it, and I'm proud of you. And
I actually don't have Steam. Steam is free. I think I downloaded it, but never used it because I don't have enough money to buy games on there.
So I don't have a
Well-
computer that runs stuff very well.
Yeah, that too. I have a gaming computer, but it can barely.
we'll have an argument later about
Sorry.
the games that you should be playing on Steam with no money. Please. But we end all of our podcasts with a game. It's time for host versus guest versus audience. This week we are putting up, I forgot we had this. This is the Art of Fallout 3.
It was the only prize that I really liked aside from the guest stuff.
I know, but we've had it for a while, and I think it's time to put it on the line again.
Oh, man.
Philip, what did you bring?
It's in that box. I was completely unaware of stuff, but I guess I can consider the beta versions of the cards.
Ooh.
Because again, I guess I can see that there are cameras and stuff.
Yes.
Basically, this is kind of what the cards look like right now.
Yes.
Again, they're in
Slide those
sleeves.
bad boys this way.
But
Of course, there's sleeves. You're a serious card player.
well, it's because those aren't the official prints. Those are actually being printed around this week because the Kickstarter is ending. But these are like the old ones.
These are really cool.
Yeah, these are
The
like
art
old,
on these are really nice.
Yeah. A lot of people were wondering why it's not like a digital like rendering, and it's I wanted that, but time constraints was the main issue with this game.
Gotcha.
So, the artist is a lot more used to cartoon. So the idea is that it's this it's this colored pencil art
Yeah,
style.
I noticed
Basically, imagine a kid playing it. This is what they would imagine.
Gotcha. This is really cool.
Yeah, I like these.
I like these a lot. Cool.
I could guess I would be. It's like wager some beta cards.
All right, cool. That sounds good. Now
Let's rock with that.
Now, to play host versus guest versus audience, we need an audience member, but they need to put up a prize for us to win since we've put up these fantastic prizes. What'd you guys bring this week? Audience.
It's your turn.
I know you brought something.
There's a wizard.
That is an R2D2 egg beat timer?
It's a charger. It's a car charger.
Oh, it's a car charger.
Oh, it's a kitchen.
It's a
timer.
kitchen timer.
Oh, we in the car we have a car charger, but when you plug it in, it just goes.
It's in pain?
No, it does the R2D2 like, and it's like head turns a bit.
I don't think that's a noise R2D2 makes.
No, I got it. You don't speak enough R2D2.
I don't know binary.
And I believe that is the only prize out here, unless your dad wants to play.
By the way, R2D2 is the most vulgar character in all of movies. Every
Very
line
true.
he says is censored.
Mm-hmm.
So come on up here.
Can I see this little droid I'm looking for?
What's up, nerds?
What's up? Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Laura.
Hi, Laura. Thanks for coming back on the show. We haven't played this in a while, so let's
no.
play some Reddit Says. Phillip, are you familiar with the hit website Reddit?
I've been using a lot for that Fire Emblem game.
That makes sense. I went on to Ask Reddit, and I took the top 10 most upvoted responses to various Ask Reddit. So this is going to work kind of like Family Feud. Wow, that was a word that just escaped my brain.
The Steve Harvey Show.
Yes, so everyone will answer every question, and you just want to get the most upvoted answers. Make sense at all?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. We're going to start with you, Will, and then we'll go down the line. The UK Moody asks, what profession was once respected but is now a complete joke?
And this is Reddit says?
This is Reddit Says.
Huh. I say barber, but that's not really a joke. Used to be a doctor, though.
That is true. That is true. So it's an interesting way to look at it. Once clown. Clown said unconfidently.
Yeah.
Clown.
And there's kind of a pun in there. Whatever.
Gotcha. Phillip, what do you think?
So it's a profession that was
Once respected, but now is considered a complete joke. What are you thinking?
one I would have technically says detective, but there has to be a joke in here.
A private eye? Or like a police officer?
like kind private eye, I guess.
A private eye?
The one,
Okay.
the one who goes to the house and starts looking through things and like making
Yeah,
clues.
looking through garbage
they
and
used
stuff.
to be like Dick Tracy, and
Yeah.
now they watch people cheat on their spouses.
Now they're Pikachu,
Now they're Pikachu.
Yes!
Yes, they've become
which
Pikachu.
is what you interrupted.
I
She should have been
apologize.
voiced by Danny DeVito.
I'm an electric mouse, whatever.
Um,
Laura, what are you thinking?
It's Reddit. It's gonna be like politician.
Politician.
Yeah.
Clowns
that's
in
obvious.
Washington.
It's obvious.
Well, that
Before I read these answers, I'm going to ask Laura to be more specific.
GOP politician.
president.
Or like. Wait, you just need me to be more
Yeah,
specific.
more specific in what you meant by politician.
Congressman.
Congressman. Okay. Number 10 is on-air radio personality.
Oh.
That used to,
You know, you have a face for you really have the face for radio.
yeah,
Thank you.
podcast.
We're on camera. People get to
Typist
see
is
the-
number 9. Typist,
Yeah,
because
I
that
guess
used to
so.
be a skill nobody had, and now
Yeah,
everyone's
It still
born.
is.
Yeah,
a
that's
little
true.
bit.
Well, I mean, we now have voice recognition, so we can just say it.
This is true. 8 is night watchman.
I was never respected.
It's 10 o'clock.
7 is news anchor. Now
Yeah.
that now it's just people yelling at each other. 6 is bank manager.
This feels like it's the same.
5 is assembly line worker.
Well, now they're robots.
Yes. 4 is milkman.
Are you implying the robots are jokes, Will?
No,
The singularity is coming, Will.
I know.
I know.
We are
I saw
born.
Black Mirror.
I'm on the wrong
I,
side.
for one, am friendly to robots. Please remember that.
Yeah, that's why you're giving one away. Number 3 is Town Crier. That used to be an important job.
Oh yeah,
Now
the
it
British are
doesn't
coming.
exist.
Yeah, you don't need it. Number 2 is Bank Teller. Now it's just credit card salesman.
Sometimes it's not even a salesman. Sometimes it's just randomly you get in the mail. Here's your credit card. Use it.
And number 1 is President.
Ah,
I
So close. So
No one
close.
got it.
I was right with GOP politician, though.
Mm-hmm.
Philip, we're going to start with you this time. No points on the board yet. Love Dump XL asks. It's a great name. What was ruined by too many people starting to do it? What was ruined by too many people starting to do it?
I mean, I would want to say the watching Rick and Morty,
Not a bad answer.
because season 3, just everyone started getting into it, and then
I agree.
everyone
I agree with your answer. Laura, what do you think?
Being YouTubers.
Being YouTubers. That's a good answer as well.
Man, I'm blanking on these tonight. Comic books?
Comic books. All right.
I feel like that one's gonna.
Number 10 is buying storage auctions. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
By
get
the way,
that.
all these are going to be super weird. Get ready.
Oh, okay.
Woohoo!
Number 9 is lifetime warranties. Like people started cashing them in. They're like, oh, this is a bad idea. Number 8 is allergy safety. Too many people claim that they have allergies for things they just don't like, and
Wasn't
now it's
cool.
Yeah.
I have a disorder. I don't like people. No,
I said it
you're
was
just lazy.
ruined by too many people doing it. Not a cool thing.
No, but what was it? What was blank? The beginning of it?
The question is, what was ruined by too many people
Ruined,
starting
okay,
to do
I
it?
gotcha.
I never said it was cool.
I added it.
Number 7 is eBay. Number 6 is using ad block, because now every website's like, you're using ad block.
Yeah.
Number 5 is my favorite restaurant. Number 4 is driving to work early, because now everybody does it and there's traffic. Number 3 is swimming by the waterfall. There's a very personal story there. Number 2 is bonfires. And number 1 is sex with my wife.
Classic.
Ruined. Too many people.
Everyone
Something,
started.
something, Reddit, cuck. Something.
Hashtag cuck.
So, Laura, we're going to start with you. No points. No points. But I think we'll get points on this one.
Oh, good.
Jumping on a Cloud asks, gamers of Reddit, what is a video game that made you emotional?
It made you emotional.
Yes.
I'm going to say Life is Strange. People
Life
really
is
seem to
Strange.
respond better to that than I did.
Okay. It's a good answer. It's a good answer. William.
I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII. All right. And Philip?
Well, since it's recent, I'd say it would be Doki Doki Literature Club.
Doki
Made
Doki
me
Literature
feel
Club.
a lot
It's
of
good guess.
emotions.
Good guess.
Every website is going nuts about that.
The top 10 answers are, number 10 is Life is Strange. So that's good for 1 point for Laura. Number 2 is Gears of War 2, which if you haven't played it, that will emotionally wreck you. Giggles.
It
Giggles
seemed
and
like
chiggles.
emotions that like Xbox dudes were willing to feel.
Have you played Gears 2?
Is
Xbox.
racism
No.
an emotion?
It will
Racism and
it
emotion.
broke my heart.
Huh.
Like
I
there
thought it was a story about a refrigerator and his son, and they were like, "I love you, Dad.
No,
No.
it's King of the Hill.
No.
I love you, Dad.
I'm a scientist."
Gears of War 2 really hurt my soul. There's 2 moments in it that are tearjerkers.
All right.
I promise you. Number 8 is Mass Effect 3. Number 7 is To the Moon, which is apparently a RPG Maker game that everybody was crying over. Number 6 is Link's Awakening, which is
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised. to see
Majora's
Oh,
that.
God, the
Mask?
top
Not
5
Majora's
are going
Mask.
to all be Zelda games.
Yeah.
No. Number 5 is Portal 2. I cried.
Yeah.
I cried at the end of that. Number 4 is Borderlands 2.
Ooh, that's wrong.
Yeah, I was surprised by
Unless
that.
like frustration is an emotion.
It's
Yeah.
an emotion. Yeah, it makes you emotional. Number 3 is Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I like the end of that.
Yeah, that'll get you. That'll get you. Number 2 is a tie because they wrote 2 answers between the Walking Dead Telltale game and Final Fantasy VII. And so that's good for 9 points.
Jeez.
And yeah, it was a high up there. And the number one answer that makes you emotional, I haven't finished it yet, is The Last of Us. The Last of Us. Yes. That means with 9 points, Will is our winner.
Groovy.
Yeah. Take those cards.
By the
Yeah,
way, because you mentioned that, watch Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's really good.
I've heard good things
I did
about
like
Ash
that
vs.
show.
Very good. It's very funny, and it's the violence is clear. There's no hiding it, but it's obviously fake.
Of course.
Well,
It's
it's a
cartoon.
show.
No, like blood is not like that deep or bright red.
Well, that's the Evil Dead
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
trademark.
like the Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Hey, evil, why don't you eat my butt?
Just, we
Best line.
I saw the musical and it was amazing. Lauren, thank you so much for coming up here.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So Phil, we got to get out of here. Anything you want to plug?
Well, obviously the game that's again follow on Kickstarter. Constant posts will have been made. We
will
still only
continue
have
to be.
6 days, so make sure to check it out. Pledge any amount, preferably the high amounts, because and then you get the decks beforehand and you get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
All right. And where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter under FatRab Games. FATRABGAMES.
Yes.
I haven't come up with a jingle yet, but I guess that's
it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Will, anything to add?
Just that I am all about Volgana, the ancient wizard.
That's his favorite.
Good choice. Good choice.
Like an ancient wizard.
Be sure to like us on or 5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars on Stitcher. Vote for us on podcastland.com. Make us the podcast of the month. Check us out on Spotify, Wildfire Radio, and of course, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and watch us live on Twitch. Upcoming shows on Twitch are very excited about this. Next week, that is April 5th. You might have seen him on the Joel McHale show with Joe McHale. Jai, the inventor of the buttress pillow, will be on the show.
Is that the new version of the body pillow?
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that the body pillow that also has a butt?
No, it is the pillow that is just a butt. I'm super excited for this show. Then on the 12th, we have the creator of the new visual novel Betray, Shanna Kishmeyer, will be on the show. And then on the 19th, it's the High Note Humor stand-up comedy champion, James Hancock III. On the 26th of April, Avengers comes out, and we will not be here because Avengers came out.
Nerds.
And then on May 3rd, Heel on the Press Comics will be here. They create their own comic books. It's going to be a fantastic show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Net Neutrality for existing and making this show possible. This has been the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Volgana.